The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are short favorites over the Saskatchewan Roughriders for the annual Banjo Bowl, which is set for Saturday afternoon. The Blue Bombers narrowly edged the Riders last week in the Labor Day Classic after Zach Collaros was removed from the game following a headshot from Miles Brown, though he appears ready to go in this one. JC, can Saskatchewan get revenge in this game, or will Winnipeg complete the two-game sweep?
I think the real question isn't whether or not Zach Collaros is going to play, because it appears like he's going to play in this game. It's whether or not he can be the quarterback he was in the first half of that game last week, because we all know this season hasn't gone exactly as expected for Zach. He has not played at the MOP level that we are used to, and he leads the league in interceptions. And while he had a pick in that first half, he also had a number of great throws. The offense was clicking on all cylinders, and it really didn't need to be as close as it ultimately was down the stretch, because Winnipeg was running away with it up until the point that Zach got hurt. If he can replicate that success against that Saskatchewan defense, then Winnipeg will be coasting to the sweep at home. However, Corey Mace, he's a great defensive mind. I think he is going to have some adjustments that are going to make it more difficult for Winnipeg in this game. They have not been good at adjusting and reacting this season, and I think they're going to slip up here. I think these two teams are destined always to split this matchup, and the Bombers got the win in Saskatchewan. The Riders are going to pull off the upset in Winnipeg.
Your answer makes it very obvious, JC, that you've never attended a Banjo Bowl, because this game is the hardest place to win. I think the environment, I was at the Labor Day Classic last week. It was a sensational environment. The Riders had standing room only tickets, almost 34,000 people in the building. It was loud, it was raucous, it was wild. There was a massive fight that broke out at the end of it, for goodness sakes. This game is louder. The Banjo Bowl is louder. I don't care what anybody says. This is the hardest game to win. I have seen the Riders come into this game with shell shock before. There's a reason that the Bombers have won the last 4 of these. The closest, 24 points. Now, one of those games was due to the Riders having, how do I say this in a non-gross way, gastrointestinal issues, let's say. That's
I believe
a wash.
it was called coming out of them in both ends.
Oh, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to spare our listeners and our viewers. But regardless, last season, this was a 45-point win for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I don't think they're going to win this one by 45 points this season. But you've got Patrick Neufeld potentially coming back along the offensive line for Winnipeg. You've got Stanley Bryant potentially coming back along the offensive line for Winnipeg. You've got an ultra upset team and fan base, having Zach Collaros taken a nasty shot for the 3rd straight Labor Day Classic. I think that this is going to be a win for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and I do not think that this game is going to be close. I picked the Riders last week. I said I would pick the Bombers this week. I'm doing that, and I am also saying that if you are someone who likes to pick, let's call them alternate lines, right, on the betting line, right, you get further odds to take wider lines. I think this is a game that Winnipeg can win by double digits. I really do. I am taking the Bombers to win this one. I don't think it's going to be close.